welcome to another week of the Hogs Happy Hour. I'm Blake, your co-host. I'm joined by Ashton, who you cannot see right now because he is driving home. So, had a little late start tonight due to some parent-teacher conferences by somebody. But Ashton is a little known fact about Ashton. He loves moral victories better than actual victories. So, he's been enjoying Razorback football here lately.
Oh, Blake, I just live to hear your sarcasm in the evenings.
Yes. Yes, every Thursday night. So, all right, let's get started. The Razorbacks, once again, we're on the road, this time playing Alabama. And it was actually closer than what people thought. I mean, it was a hard fought battle, but again, another defeat to the Crimson Tide. I think it's 17 years in a row now or something. It's getting up there. Yeah. But guess what? Next year we have no shot because we do not play them. So that's always a good thing. So all right. So what are your initial thoughts on this game?
Well, so you're talking about the game against Alabama.
Yep.
Well, I think yet again, you possession after possession, a chance to win. And the offense, unfortunately, didn't show up until it didn't matter.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. The second half, you may disagree, but I think the second half offense looked probably playing Bama's defense, probably the best half of football they've probably played. I mean, you're a Rashad Dominion turf monster trip away from potentially scoring the game-winning touchdown. But
no, yeah, I think in the second half, really, into the third quarter, fourth quarter, I think you saw a different team.
Mm-hmm.
But that defense, I felt like our defense from beginning to end was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, defense played their tails off, especially Landon Jackson. Landon Jackson made himself some money this weekend. Mel Kiper has him now as his top defensive end. That is draft. That may be coming out in the draft. So if Landon Jackson keeps continuing doing this to offensive lines, he will probably be in the NFL next year. But defense played well.
I think our defensive line is as deep as it's ever been, right? We've talked about that quite a bit. And you're talking about a team who had its two starting corners out. You had Poopaw hurt or out. And you had to have transfer linebackers step up, and they dominated. For basically the good part of the game.
Yep.
But the issue is this, Blake.
Mm-hmm.
We had 250 yards of offense.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Yeah, it's not. Second half I felt like the offense was moving better, mainly because we went more to an up-tempo offense, which kind of like KJ and everyone else is used to. The thing people don't think about is this offensive line. Past few years they've been getting to play and running it. Now they're kind of just sitting, waiting. For the play call. So when they went up tempo, everyone was kind of used to that. So maybe Danny, sees that and continues to run a little up tempo offense for the remainder of the season. We got to try something different. But
I'll tell you this. We're going to get to it eventually, but I picked the Razorbacks to win this weekend.
Yeah.
And I said I wouldn't win this year. But the reality is, I still, at this point, I think we should be 6-6.
Yeah, I mean we
And if
got.
we don't make it to 6-6, that's a loss of a season.
Yep. It's every Arkansas fan wants to see them in a bowl game. So that's you don't want the goal to be 6-6, but
No,
at this point in the season, that is a goal to be
right.
6-6.
We put ourselves in this position, but at this point, you got to dig out of it and find a way to get to a ball game.
Yeah. Yeah. The schedule kind of lines up. You got obviously you got some more home games than you've had the past 4 weeks, so that helps out just a little bit. It's watching Pittman's press conferences this week. He seems to be more not happy, but he just looks better. I mean, if you just watch it, and he said the players have had a great week of practice. The thing is, though, we've had records like this in the Chad Morris era, and the players just kind of gave up on Chad Morris. The players are not giving up on Pittman and this coaching staff.
No.
We haven't been. If you want to call A&M a blowout, that's fine, but I'm not going to. We haven't really been blown out in any game this year. So, that's a testament to these players that they're fighting for this coaching staff. They enjoy these coaches. Us as fans, we during the games we get frustrated at these coaches because of some decisions that they're making, but we're the ones sitting on the couch and they're making the big bucks.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I agree.
So, but it was we all thought it was gonna be a blowout, and it wasn't. I mean, it had the potential to be going into halftime, but we came out a different team after halftime, and show some fight. To be a 19-point underdog, that means if you're 19 points, that means Vegas thinks you had no shot. So
Right.
we went out and not proved everybody wrong, but just proved that we're gonna fight. And I think you texted me maybe first quarter of the game saying Bama's going to have to fight for every yard that they get.
And they did. They had to fight for everything.
If you take away those those deep shots, which we said last week, that's his strength. Milroe's strength is throwing the deep ball. So we kind of knew it was going to happen. We had speaking of our defense, you got to think of all those injuries we had. We had our starting corner out, starting linebacker out. For them to play as well as they did, it just goes to show you that they're fighting for these coaches.
Oh yeah, that defense especially is fighting, but the offense showed life, which is a good sign.
Yeah. But on the screen here we got the offensive rankings now. We are dead last of all SEC teams for total offense. So we're 116th in the nation right now, last in the SEC. Rushing offense is 115th in the nation, 12th in the SEC. Passing offense is 90th in the nation, which is 12th in the SEC.
Yeah.
And our scoring offense is 60th in the nation, 9th in the SEC. So
yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, for us to have all those returning quarterback and Rocket. We've said you've said it since the first Little Rock game,
right?
Since the injury that you think Rocket's not going to come back, and it kind of looks to be that way. There was a autograph signing event tonight in Fayetteville or Bentonville, somewhere around the area, and it was advertised it was going to be Darren McFadden and Rocket Sanders at this autograph event, but Rocket is actually in Texas right now getting rehab, so he was not able to attend. But Cam Little stepped in his place to sign some autographs. Which, speaking of, we haven't even touched on Cam Little. Cam Little is a dude.
Yes, he is.
He is. He's probably gonna be a NFL kicker here soon.
Cam Little is a bright spot.
And our special teams, punting and kicking, it's been pretty solid the past few weeks.
Yeah, I'd
So
have to agree.
yeah. But we had a few bright spots. Cam Little and Jackson and offense in the second half, but another disappointing loss. You would rather. It's going to sound weird. You would rather lose by 40 than lose by 3. Because
Yeah, it
if you
just comes
lose
to the
by
point.
3, that means you had a chance to win, and that means your players are pretty much comparable to their players. So, and Alabama's kind of the what you want to be in the SEC. So,
It makes me wonder, Blake.
mm,
So what's the barrier to getting over the hump?
yeah. I mean, you can look at it. It's on the offensive side. I mean, defense is playing well. The numbers kind of. I mean, you look at the numbers. We're 54th in pass defense, 64th in scoring defense, 51st overall, 7th in the SEC for total defense. I mean, if you just look at those numbers, you think, defense ain't that great, but they're not giving up 42, 48, 50 something points. I mean, just to the greatest offense right now in LSU, but
Right.
they're holding teams kind of respectable numbers.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
it makes me wonder. You know, is our defense even better than what it is?
yeah. I think our defense was so bad that it had no chance but to go up. You know,
I agree. I agree.
and but we'll put a bow on this game. Luckily, next year we do not play Alabama, so uh, the losing streak will continue. Obviously, because we can't beat them next year. All right, so this week we finally have a home game. Feels like forever ago. The BYU game seems like it was 8 weeks ago, but it
Yeah.
was it was not. Mississippi State's coming in kind of. They got some injuries, especially to the quarterback. We do not expect Rogers to play. Vegas has us at I think 7.5, 6.5 point favorite. It's 11 o'clock kickoff. My brother has invited me to go to this game, so I will be making that early trip from Southeast Arkansas to Fayetteville early Saturday morning. So I'll be there. Hopefully it's a big crowd for recruits. I know there's a list of recruits that will be there. We have not had the chance to host recruits in a while. So hopefully it's a good crowd. Kind of expect Arkansas to kind of open it up some. I think seeing the second half offense, maybe that's how it needs to be run. So I feel like offense should have their best game of the season.
So let's say this. So Arkansas comes out right against Mississippi State, and they're flat.
Mm.
Um, let's say Arkansas wins a 21-18 game. How do you feel?
Well, I feel good because it's a win, but on the flip side of it, that you should have won by more, you know. But it also just
Now,
depends to see how the game plays out.
Arkansas loses this game. What happens?
Well, we got a bye week, and you can't lose a game the rest of the season. Now, I think
I'm
once you get to 7 losses, then something's going to have to change.
I'm convinced, right? I'm convinced that if Arkansas loses this game, that Pittman gets fired.
Now, you think they're just going
Well,
to
not
go
Pittman. I'm
straight
sorry.
to Pittman?
Maybe Danny knows.
Yeah,
Somebody's getting fired.
yeah.
I just don't
I
know
would
who.
agree. I mean, it's the perfect time to make changes because of the bye week. You got an extra week to prepare. Um,
Right.
but I don't know if you just finish the season with what you got and start over next season. I don't
Right.
know. I don't. No one knows what the answer is. You got a lot of football knowledge on that staff. You do. I mean, you can hate Dan Enos all you want, but he's been around football a long time. He's been around some great coaches, so he knows what to. He's been around great football, so he knows what to do. It's just not happening. So
So
I
someone
don't know.
says I have a bad echo.
Fix your echo. Okay. Are we good? All right.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll just keep rolling. So yeah, I think like I said, I think this will be kind of a explosion game for the offense. I see them scoring 35 points. I don't know what you see it as.
I don't know.
Yeah,
28.
28. Yeah, I got it like 35 to 21, something like that. 35-18. I think Mississippi State's just, it's the battle for the last place in the SEC West. So I feel like we can come out on top. So I'm going about, I'll say 35-21 for my prediction.
I'll say 28, 24.
Yeah. So you got a pretty close game. But
Yeah.
those 11 o'clock kickoffs are tricky. Because you just never know. And usually the away team comes out better in the first half on these 11 o'clock kickoffs. So we shall see. Get used to a lot of these 11 o'clock kickoffs. We don't. Obviously, we got a bye week next week, so we will find out the game time to who we got next. Florida. I think we got Florida after this. So Florida is an away game, so we get to enjoy one home game, and then we're back on the road. So thank, thanks SEC. Thanks SEC. But, all right, we got a lot to talk about with Razorback news. Let me load these up real quick. Well, so I'm just going back to what you were saying. Why do you think Enos will be the first to go over maybe the offensive line coach or?
Um, well, because when you see 116, no one's looking at the offensive line coach.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem stems from the offensive line. I mean, we,
Perhaps.
I mean, we see
But
it.
but here's the reality. If you fire Cody Kennedy and the offensive line continues to be awful,
Yeah,
guess who's getting blamed next?
yeah. The other offensive line coach,
Which is
the head coach,
exactly.
Pittman. Yeah. So, all right, but these. All right, there we go. It finally loaded up. It's being slow tonight. All right, so it'll load up. This internet's being weird tonight. All right, so Jackson, he was the I think it was defensive lineman of the week. I don't know why it's not popping up, but to me, he should not have been the should have been the defensive lineman of the week. But I mean, it's hard to give it. They don't like to give it to teams that lose. So, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
I can get that, but
Yeah.
he had a dominant game against Bama.
So I think as far as talent from defensive end,
Mm-hmm.
he's one of the best in the country, period.
Oh yeah, I agree. And also, Coach Deke Adams, our defensive line coach, he has produced some talent past couple years that he has been here. Jackson came in. He's a small dude. He took the weight room seriously this past year and has I think what 35 pounds or something of muscle. So he's working hard. He's working hard. All right, so our volleyball team is ranked 10th. I think this is the highest ranking they have ever been um, in the program's history. So shout out to them. And we'll go to next is the soccer team. Now there's 4 different rankings for the soccer team. So they're ranked ninth, 13th, 10th in the NCAA RPI. They are ranked 10th as well. So they were playing tonight. I'm not sure on the results yet, but I do know they were playing tonight. All right, so basketball, we'll have a preview show next week as the football team is on a bye week. So next week will be a basketball preview show here on the Hogs Happy Hour. Starting off, we are ranked 14th in the AP poll. I think last year we were ranked 10th, so it's a high ranking. But as we know with every Musselman team, there's going to be some bumps and bruises, and January is not going to be good to us. So we just need to, we know Muss will prepare us for March. Um, so, also with basketball, Brazil, he was all SEC. It's good to see that the media and coaches, they see the potential in him coming off his injury. He is clear to play now. So they do have a scrimmage tomorrow night. So he might, Molsman said he might dress out, but probably will not see Brazil play. But it is good to see he is cleared for activities. All right. Coach Wilson is back. Oh, there
All
he is.
right.
All right, so we're just going through these. I was talking about we were going to have a preview show next week with the basketball team. So we start off 14th in the AP poll. I said it's going to be some bumps and bruises. In January, especially when conference play starts. So just be patient. I will have to remind Ashton every game that it will be okay come March, because by January 22nd he's ready to fire Musselman. So, but
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, and Brazil was first team All SEC, and also Devo Davis was second team All SEC. So, good to see those guys get some preseason recognition.
I am still echoing, and I don't have a clue why.
All right, injuries on basketball team. We are pretty healthy. I know Battle and Brazil, they're cleared, but probably won't see them tomorrow night in the scrimmage. I mean, you'll see them on the bench, but that's about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how quickly he can come back and be a force for us. I know that.
Yeah, this is the only should be the only basketball game that doesn't have any streaming or TV or anything. So I'm sure some local news stations will have some highlights for us after the game on Friday. But now next week they do play Purdue in a scrimmage as well. So that'll be exciting to
And that's going
watch.
to show us where we're at.
Yes, last year we went to Texas, and so kind of helped us out. But this year we don't have as young of a team, so hopefully there's not any learning curve or anything with the college game. We got a pretty pretty old team compared to last year.
Yeah, but we
All
found out
right.
last week we had a
Yeah.
exhibition game. Texas destroyed us, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. If you're watching the game on Prime, Monteric Brown or Buster Brown, he made his first NFL start tonight. I know he had a crucial pass breakup on third down in the end zone, so he's haven't seen him much, which is good because that means he's not getting he's not getting thrown to or anything. So it's good to see former Razorbacks doing well in the NFL. And a little known fact, if a guy by the name of Gregory Jr. was not injured, he would probably have got the start. But you know,
So is Gregory rehabbing currently?
yeah, he's got a calf injury right now.
Okay.
So, but
So shout out
he
to
is.
Gregory Jr., former
Yep,
Crossed Eagle, playing for the Jags.
yep.
Oh,
So,
but also shout out to Buster Brown,
hmm
Ashtown product, right?
Yep, Ashdown. Yep. So, all right, let's get to the SEC. That was last week. Now I was bragging so much past 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm not doing well. um, I went 4-2 last week. Ashton went 5-1. To our overall record, mine 17-9. Ashton is 18-8. Let's go through some scores real quick. We talked about the Alabama Razorback game already. And then, all right, Georgia defeated Vanderbilt 37-20. That was probably a little bit closer than what people thought.
Yeah.
Georgia has a really easy schedule until the end of the season. So, probably see Georgia winning the East and possibly in the college football playoff again. Tennessee beat Texas A&M 20-13 in I thought it'd be a little bit more high scoring, but a little low scoring game. And those Aggie fans are not happy with Jimbo right now at all. In fact, Sumlin had through I think it's 64 games now. Sumlin has a better record than Jimbo has through 64 games at A&M. So but he is locked up in a lifetime contract basically. So, but if they want him out, I'm sure there'll be some boosters that will kick him out. All right, Florida defeated South Carolina 41-39. I asked Ashton this question during the week of who's had a more disappointing season, Arkansas or South Carolina, and he went with South Carolina, and I would probably have to agree. The expectations were not as high with Arkansas as they were with South Carolina. So, and some people are starting to kind of not like Shane Beamer, who broke his foot after after the game. He said he kicked something he should not have. So what happens when you give up 14 points in the fourth quarter?
And you find out that your foot doesn't win the battle.
No, the wall is undefeated. I promise you that. All right. LSU and their high-scoring offense defeated Auburn 48-18. The struggles continue for Auburn as we all expected. So LSU just keeps putting up points, and then Missouri defeated Kentucky 38-21. So Missouri has a solid squad right now.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. All right, this week there's not very many SEC games. This week, we both have Arkansas. We have the same in every game. That's how it's not really decent matchups this week. Maybe Tennessee, Alabama. I expect Alabama to get some revenge on Tennessee. Probably a low-scoring game. As long as Milroe's going to have to hit the deep ball in order to win.
Yeah. 24-20.
Yep. Something like that. All right, South Carolina goes to Como, it's Columbia, Missouri. Uh, think think Missouri's riding is going to ride that momentum. You know, South Carolina's kind of in the dumps right now because it's hard to find a victory for South Carolina right now. So going with the hot team and the home team of the Missouri Tigers.
Yep.
And then Ole Miss at Auburn. Ole Miss is probably going to put up a lot of points against Auburn. I can probably see a similar score as the LSU Auburn game. Probably 48-18, 48-20, something like that.
How many times has Ole Miss defense given up 20 points?
I don't know.
Not very many. I think we might have been the first or second team.
Yeah.
So for the
think
trash
right.
we talked about Ole Miss's defense,
Yeah.
maybe it's not as bad as we thought.
Yep. All right, so that is the SEC. All right, going to the week that was in college football last week. Anything that stood out to you? Any surprises? Or
Colorado.
yeah, Friday night. Yeah,
How do you blow that?
if you stayed up. Actually, I went to came in from the football game. Trying to remember where we went. I guess it was Hamburg. I guess I don't know. Anyways, come in from the football game, and no, actually there was no game. That's what it was. There was no game, and I went to bed with them ahead. And I woke up, went to Twitter and seen that Stanford came back on them. So, but it was good. Dion kind of took ownership. He wasn't blaming the coach or blaming the players, kind of like Shane Beamer was. But it was good to see. He kind of owned up to it, which kind of happens when you're very flamboyant.
So I'm kind of learning that Washington State is tanked.
Yep.
Washington is really good.
Yes,
so was
Washington.
Oregon.
Now that Washington Oregon game was, it's up there for game of the year right now.
You gave up on
awesome.
him. You said Bo Nix couldn't get the job done.
I did. He
But
proved me wrong.
it wasn't on
along
Bo
with
Nix.
everyone else in college football. Yeah. And then today came out Michigan is apparently been cheating. What I mean by cheating is they have been stealing opponents' signals, like play calls, for future opponents. So what they would do, they would send out, maybe some GAs or some scouts to their future opponents and future college football playoff opponents, potentially, and like stealing their signs. And the NCAA put a statement out saying they are investigating this matter. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I know Ashton said it's probably going to be hard to prove that it was happening because, as a coach, you can go scout. You go sit and watch. So it's going to be hard to prove that they were actually stealing opponent signals.
I mean, you'll have to have someone admit it. And then you'll have to have like it in some kind of document or text, something. I don't know how you prove it.
Yeah, it was apparently it's bad because Michigan State almost said that they did not want to play them. But if you go back and I saw it on Twitter, if you go and look at the Rutgers head coach Shiano at halftime, they interviewed him and he said, we got some things going on that we can't control, which is kind of odd for him to say. So maybe at that point someone called him or something. I don't know because they were struggling at first against Rutgers. So it's very it's going to be interesting to see what the NCAA actually does because they are a top team this year in college football. All right, so let's go to our pick 'em now. He's also Ashton's he's I think he's beating me now. Now I think about it. No,
Nope.
you're just I still got 2 games on you. You went 4-1 last week. I went 2-3. Had an awful week. So there's not. We're gonna pick a few games. There's only 3 that we saw that were worth picking.
Yeah.
Game of the week: Penn State at Ohio State. Now Penn State
Yeah.
has a.
I'll be honest with you.
I want to say the
Blake, I didn't
number.
know really who to
Mhm.
pick.
Yeah, Penn State has the number 1 passing defense, I believe. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But in toss-up games, you always got to go with the home team. So that's what I did there. I'm sure you just flipped a coin. I mean, it happens that way.
Yeah.
Next is Duke at Florida State. Again, just went with the home team. To me, the better team in this matchup. So
I think Florida State's a better team in the matchup for sure.
and
But
then
we'll see. Who knows?
yeah, yeah, and then Utah at USC. I think I think SC is going to make 1 loss turn into 2. I don't think they have the capabilities to bounce back.
I don't know.
Because Caleb Williams, he just doesn't have that dog mindset. If you know what I mean.
I know, but Utah just struggles to score points.
Yeah, true.
So it was hard for me to pick against USC 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Alright. So, all right, we just had a short show this week, mainly because of time, and we do have other jobs outside of this.
Yeah,
we try
we
to
have lives.
we try to make a little 40 to an hour time slot for y'all to hear us joke around a little bit. I do have one question for you, Ashton. It's not. I heard it on a podcast this week. I think it's the Mostly Sports podcast, and it was pretty interesting question. All right, which coach of college or pro owes all their salary to one player? Like for example, they picked all of their salary, all the money they've ever made to one player. Like examples were Tom Crean owes it to Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
They even mentioned maybe Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, because without Tom Brady, how great is Belichick?
Okay. So which coach owes?
Yeah.
It could be a pro or college.
Yeah, college or pro owes all the money, all their entire salary they ever made to one player.
Because they
Yeah,
made them something.
yeah. I said Jimbo Fisher and Jameis Winston.
Oh man, this is tough, Blake.
Yeah, it was a great question, and so I thought I would bring it up to you.
Man, Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm trying to think. This is tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Reggie Bush and Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
College, yeah, for college purposes, yes. I think Pete's made his name in the NFL. But yeah, just something to think about on this Hogs Happy Hour. Yeah.
No,
it's a great discussion.
There's a lot of different ways. I think Tom Brady and Bill Belichick is a good one.
Yeah.
Of course, I'd like to know who Wayne Gretzky, his head coach in hockey was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you could probably look at people who like won one Super Bowl, right? Or someone who won one World Series. But baseball's hard to pencil, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, baseball is.
Basketball's a little easier because you got 5 on the court one time.
Yeah.
And then football's a little easier because your quarterback's your field commander.
Yep.
That's something I have to think about. But I think the Bill Belichick one's good. Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson. But Phil Jackson even had more, other talent.
Yeah, they were talking about maybe Dabo, but I disagree with Dabo because he had Trevor Lawrence and he had Deshaun Watson. He had several
And then he
players.
had
So
Taj Davis,
yeah,
or is that what his name
Boyd.
was?
Yeah,
Taj
Taj
Boyd.
Boyd.
Taj
Yeah.
Boyd.
So
So
they try to make that argument, but
I don't think that's a good
I couldn't
argument.
agree with it. No, but yeah, but they said Tom Brady gave Bill Belichick 20 years of of millions of dollars. I mean, we're seeing it now. I mean, Patriots might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, he has Mac Jones and Bailey Zapp, Gabby, however you say his last name.
Yeah,
They're just not getting it done.
yeah. My Jason's my
Brother said,
brother. He agrees. I mean,
yeah,
but it's
probably
a
so.
it's a great question to think about on this week. As we end the week. So a lot of Hog sports coming up. We got Mississippi State. We got a scrimmage tomorrow night in basketball. We'll have a basketball preview show next week. Then after that, we'll finish out the football season, and we'll roll into basketball season, which should be. We have exciting non-conference schedule to help us out.
What
With
about?
the
I got one
RPI
more.
ranking. Mm-hmm.
What about the head coach at Syracuse? What was his name? Basketball coach, Jim Boeheim.
Yeah.
Jim Boeheim, Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo, yeah. Because I couldn't name another. I mean,
I could name a few others, but not like Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll on that.
No, there you go. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Just something to think about. So. Anyways, we kept it short and sweet because we do have other things to worry about, but college football's more than halfway over.
Yep.
Seems to be so.
So,
Talking season lasts a long time. Enjoy it while we can. So, anyways, this is Hogs Happy Hour on the 4-Star Sports Media Network, and see you next week as we talk some Razorback basketball.
Yep, kept it short and sweet, man. See you later.